Welcome back to Indianapolis. Wade Phillips, the Falcons' interim head coach, also replaced Dan Reeves in Denver.
Yeah, also replaced his father in New Orleans. In fact, they call him SOB, son of a bum.
And on the other side, Tony Dungy. Terrific week, Brian, for the Colts special teams down in Nashville last week. And the special teams unit introduced to the crowd here today instead of the offense or the defense.
That looks like it's choreographed right there. Yeah, a dance line getting ready for a Christmas carol.
Mike Vanderjagt getting set to kick off. The Falcons have won the toss, and we are underway here in Indianapolis. Allen Rossum on the return for the Falcons. Brings it out to the 24-yard line. 19 yards on the return by Rossum. Falcons without the injured Bob Whitfield and Travis Claridge. On the left side of the line, Todd McClure in the middle. T.J. Duckett has scored a touchdown in 6 consecutive games. Price and Finner in the wideouts. And the tight end is Algie Crumpler. Michael Vick, second start back, accounted for 320 yards of offense in the overtime victory over Carolina on Sunday night. Vick with time on first down of the pass is nearly picked off by David Macklin, who grew up in Vick's hometown of Newport, Virginia.
Yeah, same high school. But Peerless Price here is the receiver. He's going to trip coming in there. And that's why that ball was almost picked. But Mike Vick, just right off the start, was trying to throw that ball on timing and rhythm, something that took him almost a half a game to do last week.
Second and 10 for the Falcons from their own 25. Vick to the air on second down, and the pass caught by Brian Finneran. For a first down, gain of 11, Walt Harris made the tackle. The Colts ranked 12th defensively. Dwight Freeney in his second season out of Syracuse with 11 sacks. David Thornton leading the Colts in tackles. And in the secondary, Mike Doss, second-round pick out of Ohio State. One of only 16 rookies in the NFL who have started every game this season. From the 36, Vick looking to throw. Down he goes. Larry Triplett. Loss of 5 on the sack of Michael Vick.
Well, that's always an accomplishment, sacking Michael Vick because of his ability. But really, you got to look on the outside. Dwight Freeney is a guy that pressured him to begin with. And then up the middle, Larry Triplett. And the defensive coordinator of the Colts, Ron Meeks, said that we have got to match the energy level of Michael Vick. And with that, we have to have great second and third effort. And that's what they got that time from the entire defensive line. That's a special player right there, Dwight Freeney, though.
Empty backfield for the Falcons on second and 15. Vick looking to throw again. Down he goes. He lost the football. And it's scooped up by Freeney.
Well, Freeney got the fumble recovery. We talked about him, but it's the rookie Robert Mathis that comes around the outside. See, that's what happens when you're a quarterback that likes to get out of the pocket. I mean, Todd Weiner thought that he was in good shape on Robert Mathis, and he wasn't, because Vick started to move and drift in the pocket. It opened up a good lane for Mathis, and then Freeney is a guy that more and more people around this country are going to hear about as a great pass rusher and a great effort player.
Robert Mathis, a native of Atlanta, with the Colts' second consecutive sack. Recovered by Freeney, a short field for the Colts. 3 wide receivers set. They start from the Falcons' 14-yard line. Off the play fake.
Got him.
Manning to the end zone. Touchdown, Reggie Wayne on the Colts' first offensive play of the game.
Well, what we just saw in the last 30 seconds was your classic polar opposite. Pocket quarterback in the pocket, play action here to Reggie Wayne, and your guy that likes to drift and the play action fake here to Edgerrin James. Is the ball in Edgerrin James's belly or isn't it? And boy, Manning got his head around, located Wayne, and a big mix-up between Ray Buchanan and the linebacker Keith Brooking on the play.
7th touchdown of the season for the third-year receiver out of Miami. Vanderjagt adds the extra point. The Colts forced a turnover, capitalize on their first play, 7-0. An early lead for the Indianapolis Colts.
Well, here's Reggie Wayne going to run the post, and there's a mix-up here between Ray Buchanan and Keith Brooking about who's going to take Wayne when he goes to the post. Part of that is the play-action fake, and Keith Brooking was playing run. He was going to stop Edgerrin James, and it's a great system. It's a great offense. Manning makes it work. But the defense, which has gotten better and better under Tony Dungy, better players, better system, applied a lot of pressure to force that early fumble.
Allen Rawson from the 5-yard line. Brought down just shy of the 20 by Mike Doss. Good effort on special teams by the rookie out of Ohio State. You spent 4 years as a Colt. Did you ever go ice skating at Indy?
Not indoors. There's plenty of places to go outdoors. It snowed last night here.
Movement at the line on first down.
Prior to the snap, offside, number 90, defense, unabated to the quarterback. Still first down.
Monte Rager, one of those pickups in the offseason to try to fortify the ranks here of Tony Dungy. Dungy brought that same system that he developed in Tampa Bay, the buck-2 defense, trying to put the same players in place here that he did in Tampa.
1st and 5 following the penalty. From the 25, first carry for T.J. Duckett, and he was hit in the backfield by Raheem Brock.
No, Kenny, there's been a fallout in Atlanta with the firing of Dan Reeves. There's all kinds of new people in place. I mean, we talked about Wade Phillips as a head coach, but Wade doesn't want to call plays and call defenses as a head coach. So he's really delegated. Pete Mangurian right now is the offensive coordinator. Right here, Emmett Thomas is the new defensive coordinator. Of course, Arthur Blank, and next to him, Bobby Beathard here, who's the senior advisor, owner, and CEO of the Falcons. Those are the 4 people in place right now.
Loss of 1 on the previous play. Vick on 2nd and 6, can't find anyone. Rolling to his right, and then throws it away.
He gets up smiling, but he took a shot there. Everything he tried to do on that play didn't work out. I mean, the receiver slipped and fell. Somebody got hit. He got chased out. But what you see with Michael Vick is his ability to stretch a play over a long period of time. Sometimes 8, 10, 12 seconds with the ball in his hand, and defenses are not accustomed to defending for that long a period.
We'll put a clock on him later today.
Yeah. Well, usually a play is over. Peyton Manning's play takes 2.5 seconds. Sometimes Michael Vick, it could take 12, 15 seconds.
2 tight ends in the game for the Falcons on 3rd down and 6. Vick to the outside, broken up, intended for Algie Crumpler. And David Thornton, who Crumpler had dinner with last night, his teammate at North Carolina, broke up the pass.
Yeah, and I think Algie had a chance to catch that ball. And, you know, there's a couple of guys that have to get involved in this offense. It's just not Mike Vick. It's got to be Algie Crumpler. It's got to be Peerless Price and T.J. Duckett. They've got to carry a lot of the burden. It can't be all the quarterback.
Troy Walters awaiting Chris Moore's first punt. Punting from his own 14. Fair catch called for by Walters at the 34-yard line. A 42-yard punt by Moore. Colts have run 1 play. They lead 7-0. The Falcons have run 7 plays. Vick has been sacked twice. He turned the ball over. Colts, 1 offensive play. It took 5 seconds, and it resulted in a touchdown.
It's an efficient offense, and it all works together. Defense getting more turnovers, the offense turning it over less, and then doing more with it.
3 wide receivers set. Hand off to Edgerrin James, and he gains just 1 out to the 36-yard line. Terrific season for the Colts offensive line. Manning has been sacked only 15 times, and they've been called for only 12 holding penalties in 13 games. Marvin Harrison, 4th in the NFL with 79 receptions. Reggie Wayne with the touchdown moments ago. 2nd and 9. Manning for James. Brought down at the 38-yard line by Chris Draft after a gain of 2, setting up 3rd down and 7. Colts go to the hurry-up.
Yeah, and the Falcons said that they can get off the field, on off the field with all the substitutions. They just made the substitutions. As Peyton calls all the plays right at the line of scrimmage. And they can do this at different tempos. They can do this in 10 seconds, and they can do it in 25 seconds.
Still 15 seconds on the play clock. 3 wide receivers. Colts have to get to the 45 for a 1st down. Manning complete for the 1st down to Brandon Stokely, the former Raven, into Falcons territory. His 6th reception of the season, and it's good for 17 yards.
Well, you know, the guy that puts this all together for Peyton Manning is the only offensive coordinator he's ever known, and that's Tom Moore. 6 years together with the offensive coordinator, Tom Moore, 6 years with the offensive line coach, Howard Mudd. No other organization in football has that kind of continuity. And the first thing Tom Moore says that he works on is protecting Peyton Manning.
He told us I'm a protection freak. Good protection. Incomplete. Manning again looking for Stokely. Keith Newman on the coverage. Falcons defense have played better in recent weeks, but they are ranked last in the NFL. Patrick Kearney with 5 sacks. He had 10.5 last season. Falcons under Wade Phillips play the 3-4. Brooking has gone to 2 straight Pro Bowls. And changes in the secondary throughout the season. 2nd and 10. James looking to go up the middle. Crawls ahead to the 42-yard line for a gain of 3.
You know, this Colts offense has undergone a dramatic change the last 2 weeks. They lost their tight end, Dallas Clark, in the game to New England 2 weeks ago right here. Dallas Clark was their 2nd tight end. And the Colts' favorite formation was 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers in the back. Well, without that tight end, there are now 3 wide receivers. And what Peyton wants to watch today is how the Falcons defend with 4 defensive linemen or with 3. 4 in this play.
Colts have to get to the 35 to move the chains. And they do. The tight end Marcus Pollard with an 8-yard reception, tackled by Keith Brooking at the Falcons 34. It's another Colts 1st down.
Well, you know, Marcus Pollard is a guy that, you know, has just gotten better and better here as a basketball player, and, you know, we know his history, but he's a guy that has the flexibility to go into the slot and play a wide receiver, to play a tight end. And Manning said that he's been unselfish this year because he's been forced to block a lot more than he's ever had to in the past.
3 wide receivers. Harrison in the slot. Off the play fake to James. Manning with time. Complete to Marvin Harrison. Forced out of bounds inside the 5.
Well, nobody is a better at play action fakes in the league than Peyton Manning. And it starts with his offensive line selling the run, and now he gets his head around quickly. And Marvin Harrison goes from right to left across the formation. And the league's best receiver is always open. He's always open, Ken. It doesn't matter if you double him the way the Falcons just did, or whether you zone him. The guy knows how to get open.
A 32-yard pass play. 1st and goal from the Falcons 2. James looks to bounce it to the outside. And is brought down inside the 2-yard line by Keith Newman. 2nd and goal coming up.
You know, Edgerrin James is a guy that his first 2 years was off the charts in this league. And he was running 40-yard and 60-yard touchdown runs. And he had a major knee operation to his ACL. And he hasn't been the same since. But talking with the general manager, Bill Polian, he thinks that he can become even a better back. Because no longer is he trying to hit a home run. You see the difference in yardage and touchdowns and all that. But he's now sticking his nose into the hole rather than trying to score a touchdown every time.
Off the fake, Manning to the end zone. He was looking for the tight end, Joe Dean Davenport.
See, Joe Dean Davenport is the guy that's taken over for Dallas Clark. Dallas Clark was the first-round draft pick, and it fit into the system of what they wanted. 2 tight ends. Marcus Pollard also open on his plate, uncovered. A rare miss for Peyton Manning not to see it.
Now 3rd and goal from inside the 2. Edgerrin James. No signal yet. Stop just short.
You know, the Colts were in this position 2 weeks ago against New England. A chance to win the game. And really, if they'd done that, be the best team in football right now. And it was Edgerrin James right here. To me, I think that the Colts should still remember that from just 2 weeks ago. And I think that you got to give it to the offensive line and give it to Edgerrin James and let him go get 6 inches.
Well, the Colts lead the league in 4th down conversions. Play clock winding down. They are 11 of 14 on 4th down.
Dungy trying to get a timeout.
On 4th and inches, James is bottled up. He lost the football. It's recovered by Patrick Kearney.
Well, I tell you, that was a lot of confusion from the beginning, from trying to get the timeout to the penetration by Atlanta. Great goal line stand by the Falcons. That's fine.
Following the Colts turnover, Falcons back on offense, starting from their own 6-yard line. T.J. Duckett. Duckett loses a yard.
Okay, the Falcons have the ball down here because of the effort that the Falcons defense played with on that goal line stand. And on 4th down here, watch the number of white jerseys get to the ball here. They string Edgerrin James out. This is their favorite play, the stretch. They got penetration at the point. Now look at all the white jerseys coming in to clean it up. Tony Dungy, in his own way, you know, a little meek, trying to get a timeout. Not emphatic about it. And I think they could have used one just to make sure they knew what they were doing.
2nd down and 11. Vick back in the end zone. Throws up a rainbow and it comes down on the Falcons sidelines.
Mike Vick said that he wanted to come out today with the same level of energy and the same excitement that he had last week. But right now, already, things have changed. I mean, they're deep in their own territory. He's been hit. The Colts right now are playing faster. They're getting off the ball quicker. And so he's under a lot more pressure than he was against a very good defense last week of Carolina. A lot of that is playing in a sold-out, noisy stadium here in Indianapolis.
Falcons have run only 1 positive play so far out of their 9 plays. Vick from the end zone, deflected and nearly picked off. Nick Harper got a piece of it, and Donald Strickland came close to his 2nd interception of his rookie season.
Well, what they've done so far for Indianapolis is they've kept Vick in the pocket. He hasn't gotten out yet. No, it was his right ankle that was broken that bothered him during the week here. Missed a day of practice on Wednesday. It's going to be sore all year. But when he's in the pocket throwing, he's not nearly as accurate as when he's on the run.
Now Chris Moore punting out of the end zone, taken at midfield by Troy Walters, tripped up. at the Falcons 49. 45-yard punt. Only one on the return. Good field position again for the Colts. Terrific starting field position once again for the Colts. Their average starting field position, Brian, on the Falcons 40.
Yeah, positive territory, short field. And he took all of one play to score that first touchdown off the turnover. 14-yard touchdown to Reggie Wayne.
And the Colts' last drive, 11 plays, 61 yards, but it ended on 4th and goal when James fumbled. Off the play fake. Manning with loads of time, and it's complete to Harrison. Did a 360 as he made that catch. All right, JB, Harrison gained 18 on that last play. 1st and 10 from the Falcons 31. Manning to Reggie Wayne for another Colts first down at the Falcons 18. 13-yard pickup.
Kenny, we have the classic contrast in quarterbacks today. A pocket quarterback in Peyton Manning. Watch how quickly he gets rid of the football here. I mean, he started 94 games in a row now because
1st and 10.
The ball gets out of his hands that quickly. I mean, you can't defend that. You can't hit him. You can't get to him when he's making decisions. And it's the speed of decision-making, which is the #1 attribute of Peyton Manning.
Stretch play to James. And he's bottled up, no gain. Explain the stretch play, Brian.
Well, here it is from the end zone. This is the bread and butter. This is the foundation of what they have. And it's really just a simple handoff to Edgerrin James. And what it is Peyton Manning starts it when he pulls out from the center and he literally runs to a point a yard outside the tackle. He'll take off this direction right here and get the stretch going with himself. He stretches the play to begin with.
Manning out of the shotgun on 2nd down. Dumps it off to Harrison. And Harrison is close to another Colts first down at the Falcons 9-yard line.
Tom Moore said that when he was coaching the Pittsburgh Steelers back in their heyday in the 70s, he coached both John Stallworth and Lynn Swann, and he said Marvin Harrison was better than him. And he shows it every week.
Set an NFL record last season with 143 receptions. 1st and goal from the 9. Inside handoff to James. Edgerrin down to the 6-yard line, gain of 3. Manning looking towards the sidelines.
Yeah, you know, he's listening to Tom Moore, you know, and it's the only coordinator that he's had. And Tom over there talking to him. And they have such a great relationship. They constantly reflect back to success they've had in past years and past games to get the right play call.
2nd and goal from the 6. Manning steps up, dumps it off, little sidearm throw to Wayne, and he's brought down at the 3-yard line by Brian Scott.
You know, and with that, Tom Moore knows that the Colts are only going to go as far as Peyton Manning takes them, and that means he's got to line up every Sunday. Watch him here. Watch him just negotiate in the pocket. Peyton's not going to win any 40-yard dashes and sprint competitions, but there he makes a key throw, gets positive yards, and doesn't take a hit. And what they're booing at is Chris Draft is being taken off the field, and what has happened to the Colts, because they don't huddle up, is teams have, almost by accident, had injured players come off the field, stop the clock to get their players reset and to catch the win. And Tony Dungy isn't happy about it. In fact, he's talking to the league every week that something's got to be done because it's a way to slow the game down. Now, Chris Draft may very well be injured here coming off the field, but Tony Dungy sees this every week. Players that come off the field and the next play come on the field healthy. And the fans are letting them know about it because they've read about it and they've seen this now every week.
Empty backfield. 3rd and goal from the 3. Stokely, touchdown.
Well, the Falcons played a zone there. And all Stokely did was find the soft spot, the open area, the open window in the zone. It's right here. It doesn't make any sense right here for Mathis, who won the game last week for the Falcons in overtime, to back up into the end zone and to make that window bigger like he did.
Stokely's first touchdown as a Colt. Manning has become the first quarterback in league history to throw at least 25 touchdowns 6 times. 6 in a row. Well, Peyton Manning has become the first quarterback in league history to throw 25 or more touchdown passes in 6 consecutive seasons. 2 in the first quarter, 1 to Reggie Wayne, and the other to Brandon Stokely. Allen Rossum on the return, out of bounds at the 24. There is a flag.
Holding number 55 of the receiving team during the return.
Michael Vick has started just 1 of 6 here in the first quarter. We'll give to Duckett. And TJ Duckett out to the 25. Gain of 11 for a Falcons first down. Only their second first down of this first quarter.
Yeah, and look, the Falcons have come in here to a very good team on the road, and they've been assaulted. And it happens in this league. And what you have to do is you have to calm down. You have to survive the assault. And Wade Phillips has been a head coach. He's been around. He's been an interim coach. They got these guys ready to play. They got a game plan. They got to get into it right now.
From the 25, Duckett again gaining 2 out to the 27-yard line. Larry Triplett. A Chiefs victory, and the Lions would tie an NFL record with their 23rd consecutive road loss. Vick complete for another first down out to the 41-yard line. Gain of 14 for Brian Finneran.
But I think with Mike Vick that this offense wants to get into rhythm. He's pumping them up right here. He's the leader of this team. So the whole team down 14-0 in the first quarter is looking at him and the poise that he's going to manage the next 3 quarters with.
So the Colts with a 2-touchdown lead. Peyton Manning a pair of touchdown passes, 1 to Reggie Wayne and the other to Brandon Stokely. Fox NFL Sunday from Indianapolis will continue after these messages. Peyton Manning told us he'd love to watch Michael Vick from the sidelines, but he has no time.
He's too busy in his own library right there, looking at the photographs of the last series.
It's TJ Duckett out across the 45. He was down before he lost the football. He was ruled down by contact.
You know, today we have really the ultimate contrast of quarterbacks. And I don't like calling Mike Vick the mobile guy or the scrambler. I mean, he's unique. He's got unique talent. And, of course, Manning's the classic pocket. You know, with that, Manning has started 94 games in a row. You know, he hasn't won a playoff game yet. That's what's in front of him this year. Mike Vick has up in Green Bay last year. But with Michael, the key to him is to staying healthy. And with that, he's got to learn how to play better in the pocket and get rid of the ball on timing the way Manning does.
Second down and 5. Vick with time. Pass incomplete, intended for Peerless Price.
See, Michael Vick, even last week in that exciting win, he took a lot of hits. And today already, he's been hit 5 times. And when you get hit like that in this league, you've got a target. And everybody knows Michael Vick coming into the house, he's got a target on him. He's going to be running. He's going to be out of the pocket. You're going to get your chances. And Dwight Freeney, he's waiting for that chance. David Thornton is waiting for that chance right now, especially on 3rd down. Manning today, you know, I mean, if he was playing in a mud puddle, still wouldn't have any dirt on his uniform.
3rd down and 5. Colts already with 2 sacks, make it 3. Marcus Washington with his 5th sack of the season. Vick has been brought down 3 times in the first 16 minutes.
Well, Dwight Freeney went over to the right side, took on Todd Weiner over there, and normally he's on the right side. He switched up because that's the back side of Michael Vick. He can't see him. So that's smart by the Colts. You put your best pass rusher on the other side, on the opposite side of Vick, to come to the back side.
Good hang time. Fair catch by Walters. There is a flag. Fair catch at the 25-yard line. 40-yard punt.
Holding number 31 of the receiving team during the kick will penalize from the spot of the catch.
Cliff Crosby called for the hold. 14-0 Colts. Colts defense has done their job today. 3 sacks of Michael Vick, and the offense leading 14-0.
See that's John Tierlink over there. Been in the league a long time, coaching the defensive line, sits there with all the guys. Not often that you can find a guy bigger than your nose tackle to coach. John Tierlink carries some pretty good size with him.
Now the Colts start from the 16, the stretch, hand off to James. There is a flag. James out of bounds after a gain of 7 at the 23-yard line.
Now, this should be a face mask against Patrick Kearney, just trying to grab onto something of Edgerrin James to bring him down.
5-yard face mask on the defense will penalize from the end of the run. First down.
Well, a win today and the Colts clinch a playoff berth. They would also clinch the division with a victory and a Tennessee loss. The Titans lead Buffalo 3-0.
And they've got the tiebreaker against Tennessee. They went to Nashville last week and beat a team that lost to them. They lost to Tennessee twice last year. That was a very impressive win on the road against a team that had won 10 in a row at home. They feel pretty good about themselves after last week.
Here's James. Finally taken down at the 40 after picking up another first down.
Edgerrin James no longer the burst that he had those phenomenal first 2 years in the league, but the knee now is strong and it's stable. And with that, he's not trying to make every run sensational. He's taking what the defense gives him, and I think eventually he's going to be a better running back for it.
His longest run this season is just 20 yards.
Well,
this is now his longest. Brought down at the Falcons 17, a 43-yard pickup.
Well, the offensive line just opened up the seas right up the middle, right behind the center, Jeff Saturday, right here in Des Moines. On a little trap inside, and well, I tell you, Adam Meadows, the right guard, didn't even have to trap anybody. That's a quick hitter. They got the lineman on Keith Brooking, the linebacker, and Edgerrin James hasn't seen that much green in between probably in 3 years.
From the 17, penalty marker, Ricky Williams, tackled by Travis Hall, loss of 2 on the play. It's against Atlanta.
Holding, number 61, defense. It's a 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That's Ellis Johnson, a former Colt, who still lives here during the offseason. For Edgerrin James, that 43-yard run, his first run over 20 yards in 639 rush attempts.
There's the runs today. Just one negative run here today, -5, but down on the goal line. But Edgerrin is getting better. He's becoming a better back. He's learning how to stick it into the softness of the defense, take what he gives them, and then when the C's do open, like the last play, you can see he still has speed to run away from it.
You know what else that 43-yard run means for the Colts?
What's that?
Their punter, Hunter Smith, no longer has their longest carry of the season.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you can't have a punter as the longest. No, that would bother a running back like Edgerrin James.
He had that 21-yard touchdown run on a fake field goal.
You're right. Yeah, he doesn't have to, the punter doesn't have to walk by his locker and remind him that I still have the longest run of the season.
From the 14, Dominique Rhodes down to the 11-yard line, gain of 3.
This is a pretty good offensive line. You know, we talked to Tarek Glenn on Friday, and Tarek Glenn is a guy that has been here for all of Peyton Manning and Tom Moore before Tony Dungy. It's his 7th year, and he just had a streak this year broken of 101 starts in a row. And he took a lot of pride in that. He came in his rookie year to Cal, #1 pick, and they played him at left guard the first year. Then they moved him out to left tackle, and he's one of those guys that nobody ever talks about. He gets no mention. And he's a very humble player, and all he wants to do right now is start another streak. Missed 6 games with a left knee injury, but he wants to start another streak of consecutive starts.
Manning on 2nd and 7, complete to Reggie Wayne. Brought down at the 9-yard line by Matt Stewart after a gain of 2, setting up 3rd down at 5.
Peyton Manning tuned in last night to see how Eli would do in the Heisman Trophy voting.
Told us he's very proud of Eli, went back for his senior year.
Yeah, just, I mean, you know, went back for a 5th year and, you know, was a field goal away from beating LSU and winning that Southeast Conference Western Division. Said he didn't want him to win the Heisman. He said he didn't want to jinx him in the pro game.
Manning looking to escape. Kearney. And the throw to the end zone for Harrison. He makes the catch. A spectacular touchdown grab by Marvin Harrison. Kearney thought he had Manning. Now there is a flag. Penalty flag back at the 15-yard line. And looking at Manning's reaction, it's against the Colts. It is.
You mentioned spectacular catch. I mean, isn't that usually what happens with Marvin Harrison? The word spectacular. Oh my.
Personal foul.
That might be better than the catch last week.
Number 63, offense. Still 3rd down.
Personal foul against the center, Jeff Saturday.
I mean, this is the catch that Tony Dungy last week never saw because it wasn't supposed to go to Harrison, and then he thought the ball's overthrown. There's no way he's going to make that one-handed catch. Look at the eyes. The eyes looked that ball right into the hand. And now today, another one of these catches. I mean, he avoids Brandon Stokely. He walks the tightrope. He makes the catch. And then, you know, it gets taken away from him. And he's like, well, I'll just have to go back here and do it again.
Deflected it to himself, reminiscent of that catch Joe Jurevicius made on Monday night.
Monday night against the Eagles. That first game of the season.
3rd down and 20. Manning looking for Rhodes. Incomplete. So Mike Vanderjagt, who has hit on 37 consecutive field goals, which is 3 shy of Gary Anderson's NFL record, will come out to attempt approximately a 43-yarder.
You know, Kenny, with the extra points this year, he's kicked 70 kicks in a row. And just think about it. Try doing anything. Try making 70 layups in a row. Do anything 70 times in a row. It's an incredible level of consistency.
From 43, Vanderjagt's kick is straight through. And the long snapper, Justin Snow, goes to retrieve the football. They save the ball for Vanderjagt. He's hit 38 consecutive field goals.
Like a dog going to get a bone. Well trained.
Here are the distances of the 38 consecutive field goals hit by Mike Vanderjagt.
Yeah, you know, and Tony Dungy, you know, he's on record saying that he wants to make it 50 field goals in a row. Tony Dungy said that he's the type of guy that needs to dangle and carry. He needs to set high goals for himself.
Vanderjagt has a lot of confidence. Penalty flag as Rawson is taken down at the 29-yard line following a 28-yard return.
Tony Dungy said he needs to put pressure on himself because otherwise kicks at the end of games when the game's already decided. He said he loses his focus and his concentration. There's a little bit of an issue this offseason with Mike Vanderjagt.
team during the return.
With Tony Dungy and Peyton Manning. Said that those guys didn't have the fire in their belly to win playoff games. Peyton Manning out in Hawaii said on record, yeah, he is an idiot. An idiot. And Vanderjagt stuck by it. But they've worked out the differences. Normally, somebody should be gone when that kind of wars get inflamed. They've worked out the differences, they're getting along.
Here's Duckett. I guess when you have two players who should go to the Pro Bowl, they both stay.
Yeah.
You know, Mark Bolger spent 2 weeks on the Falcons practice squad back in 2000.
I'm proud of you, Kenny. I'm proud of you for digging that nugget up.
There's Justin Griffith, couple of penalty flags. Bolger drafted by the Saints, released 2 weeks on the practice squad late in the 2000 season in Atlanta.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody in Atlanta right now is disappointed in having Michael Vick there.
Offside, defense, still second down.
I feel like right now Michael Vick is playing this game in a box. Like he hasn't gotten out of the pocket, he hasn't created any magic yet, and you kind of sense that he's frustrated right now. He's been pressured from the backside, from the front side, up the middle today. And then been a little careless with the ball. You know, the ball was always in his left hand. Indianapolis watched that on tape all week, and they're trying to strip it out of it.
Here's Duckett on 2nd and 2, picks up the first down. He does almost everything right-handed. Only does a couple of things with his left hand.
Well, he throws the football with his left hand, and then he eats potato chips with his left hand. So everything else, you know, you want to open up a bottle of soda, twist it off with his right hand. You want to go throw the baseball, throws it with his right hand. It's just one of those unusual quirks. And, you know, he hasn't gotten out of the pocket. I mean, there's got to be a bootleg to be called right now. There's got to be something to get him out of there and pressure the defense.
From the 27-yard line. Vick steps up and gains just 1 before running into Raheem Brock.
And see, that's a matchup that Michael Vick should win. I mean, right there, Raheem Brock is smiling because he just tackled Michael Vick. I mean, here he is. He's dropping back in his zone, and that's his job, is to really guard him. And Raheem Brock can't believe that he just tackled Michael Vick in the open field. I mean, he put all that shake and bake on, and Raheem Brock, he can't shake and bake. He's 290 pounds. He just stood there. He's still smiling about it.
That was Vick's first carry today. 14 last Sunday night in the win over Carolina. Duckett out to the 35-yard line, stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker, setting up 3rd down and 2.
See, Tony Dungy started a defense back in Tampa called the Tampa 2, the Buck 2 defense. And what it is, it's a zone concept. And when I say zone, what happens is players drop back and expand as the play develops. And they drop back to an area. But all the eyes of the defenders are on the quarterback. So you never lose sight of the quarterback. And one of the reasons why he developed it was for scrambling running quarterbacks, or the ability that Michael Vick has.
Vick hit on 3rd and 2. He was looking for the tight end, Algie Crumpler.
Right there, everybody dropped in the zone. Again, Mike Vick hit in the backfield, but all the eyes on him. Never lose sight of it. You play man-to-man defense, Kenny, you can turn your back and run with the receiver, and you lose sight of the quarterback.
We're getting back to that Buck 2 defense. Last year, even though Tony Dungy was no longer in Tampa, the Buccaneers did a terrific job in their 2 games against Michael Vick.
Yes.
In fact, he was injured in the game in Atlanta against Tampa Bay last season. Punt down inside the 20-yard line. A 46-yard punt by Moore with no return. Turn Arkansas upside down. That's Tuesday at 8:30, 7:30 Central on Fox. That is definitely a first.
Well, I mean, Paris Hilton is setting a lot of firsts. You know, I guess they like the show. People watch that. People want to see, you know, the Harris to the Hilton family clean out the stalls in a farm.
Our director, Michael Frank, has not missed an episode.
Evidently, 17 million people haven't either.
Well, Brady Smith is the latest injured Atlanta Falcon.
Well, I don't think Peyton Manning is watching. But
no.
He says he does have direct television. He doesn't pay for it. But he's taping all the games. And he'll probably be back home tonight watching a few of his favorite games here today.
Second down and 3. Complete to Harrison. He loses the football. And the question is it ruled to completion? It was. It will be Falcons football.
A rare turnover for the Colts and Marvin Harrison. Again, working on the newly acquired Derrick Ross. And Ross does a good job of stripping. Of course, Derrick Ross, that knee might be down, though. That might be worth challenging. Was Harrison's knee down when Ross stripped it? Derrick Ross was picked up off the Cowboys roster. Bill Parcells cut him loose 2 weeks ago when he failed to make a practice and a meeting. Set an example for the whole team.
Colts decide not to challenge. Best field position of the day for the Falcons. Vick, pump fake, down throws, looking for Peerless Price in the end zone, and it's picked off. There is a flag. Intercepted by David Macklin.
Yeah, they're going to say offensive pass interference. Whoa, now it looks like they might be. Their preliminary signal was offensive pass interference.
Pass interference, number 81, offense is declined. First down, Indianapolis.
So David Macklin, who played against Michael Vick in high school in Newport News, Virginia, comes up with his first pick of the season, the second turnover by Vick.
Two things on this last play, the interception by David Macklin. One is textbook coverage by Macklin. Never takes his eyes off Vick, but then Peerless Price there has got to fight for that ball, especially on first down. You cannot allow David Macklin to take that ball out of the air away from you. You've got to fight to get that ball out, become a defensive back, and get aggressive with it.
Macklin with the pick. Each team has turned the ball over twice. Colts start from their own 20-yard line with 3 wide receivers. Off the play fake. Manning with loads of time and complete to Marvin Harrison. Shoved out of bounds at the 42-yard line after a 22-yard pickup.
Let me tell you something. Marvin Harrison lines up at right end 90% of the time. But when he's not at right end, it should send up a smoke signal right away. Marvin Harrison now went to the left side to run this route right here. As soon as you see him in an unusual position, you should go, you know what? Something's wrong. So he came out of the slot that time, came across the formation, and they still found him.
Adrian James up the middle. Gain of 4. Out to the 46-yard line, setting up second down and 6 for the Colts, who lead 17-0. Peyton Manning with 2 first quarter touchdown passes. One to Reggie Wayne and the second to Brandon Stokely. Mike Vanderjagt added his 38th consecutive field goal. 3 wide receiver set. Second and 6. Manning to Wayne. Another first down in Falcons territory, brought down by Todd McBride after a gain of 8 at the Atlanta 46.
Yeah, this is Peyton Manning today. I mean, just about flawless. Really making a name for himself this year as the league's MVP and a legitimate candidate. I mean, a top 3 candidate right now, and climbing like Casey Kasem, a bullet and going up the charts.
We've now mentioned Saddam Hussein, Paris Hilton, and Casey Kasem within a stretch of about 5 minutes.
Well, you look at Peyton Manning right now and the way that he's playing. This is one of these games when it ends, you feel really good about yourself. You feel good about the execution, about the attention to detail, the accurate throws, the protection. I mean, it's all together right now. And Atlanta right now doesn't know what to take away because it's all working in concert.
The last carry, Adrian James goes out over the 1,000-yard mark for the 3rd time in his career. And that 43-yard run earlier, adding to his totals down to the 20. Gaining 14 on that carry. He hits 100 for the game. his 5th 100-yard rushing game this season, and he hits the century mark with over 3 minutes to go in the second quarter.
And you know, he's getting stronger at the right time of the year. And with the injury to Dallas Clark, I mean, I think that's one of the guys that has to pick it up, because they're no longer in 2 tight ends. They're 3 wide receiver offense right now.
Rhodes in the backfield, takes the handoff from Manning, and gains 3 yards down to the Falcons 17.
No, I'm just looking down the field, and Keith Brooking talked to us about what a difference Wade Phillips made, and he said he wanted to play so hard today because Wade Phillips was the defensive coordinator, and he likes Wade. And right now, they're not doing a good job of playing for Phillips. They changed a bunch of things during the week, but it's not working.
Manning to the end zone. Harrison, touchdown.
It's all there. I mean, the play action fake right now into the belly of Dominic Rhodes. Manning pulls it out. That ball wasn't in his hands very long, and Manning and those soft fingertips. They're trying to double cover him. They had 2 guys on him. Chris Hall was on the inside. You know what Peyton Manning said about Marvin Harrison? He remembers every one of his touchdown catches. From 6 years ago, he remembers every one.
And that is the 67th he has caught from Manning. The only combinations who have connected more often: Young to Rice, Marino to Clayton, Manning to Harrison are 3rd on the all-time list. 24-0. Michael Vick and the Falcons trailing 24-0. Well, on January 2nd, join us for one of college football's most storied bowl games, the 68th SBC Cotton Bowl, as Eli Manning will lead Mississippi for the final time as the Rebels take on the Oklahoma State Cowboys. January 2nd, 2 Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. Brian, you will be there on the sidelines in Dallas.
Well, it'll be the first time the Cotton Bowl's ever been on January 2nd. It's always been the first bowl game on New Year's Day. But we're excited about having Eli and Ole Miss come to town against the Cowboys of Oklahoma State.
Well, Peyton Manning, after his senior season, finished 2nd behind Charles Woodson in Heisman balloting, and results announced last night. Eli finishing 3rd. Their dad, Archie, finished 4th as a junior, 3rd as a senior.
Pretty good bloodlines, eh?
Archie on hand for the announcement last night up in New York. From the 24-yard line. Hand off to Duckett on 1st down. And he gains 1 out to the 25.
You know, looking at this Colts defense, I mean, the question right now, I think, for the Colts, is the defense good enough to go out there in the playoffs and go deep in the playoffs? And are they strong enough? And what Tony Dungy has done, he took the blueprint from Tampa. And in Tampa, he had 3 great players. He had Warren Sapp, he had Derek Brooks, and he had John Lynch. And right now, at all 3 levels here in Indianapolis, they've got 3 great players. They got Dwight Freeney at end. They got David Thornton at linebacker right now, and Mike Dawson. That's his blueprint. He's transferred the blueprint from Tampa to Indy. And so they've got very good players at all 3 levels. The line, the linebackers, and the defensive back.
Colts defense ranked 29th the year before Dungy, 8th last year, now 12th. 2 minutes remaining, first half. 2nd and 9. Vick under pressure. Already been sacked 3 times, and he throws this one out of bounds.
I'll tell you, the Colts were prepared for Michael Vick today. I mean, this is a game plan that you want to bottom up. Here's Washington coming off the edge. Here comes on the outside Morris. I mean, they're chasing Mike Vick with guys with speed. Rob Morris, former #1 draft pick. I mean, that's his job. As soon as he saw Michael Vick coming out, escaping, he made a beeline for him. Mike Vick hasn't been able to breathe outside of the pocket today.
Vick just 2 of 11. Been sacked 3 times. Lost a fumble and was picked off.
Yeah, I mean, he can't step up. There's pressure there. He can't get outside. They're coming off the edges. They've got him bottled up right now.
Vick on 3rd and 9, rolling to his left. And again, throwing it out of bounds. Took another hit.
Yeah, see that? Nobody can survive, you know, Sundays like that of being planted on this type of AstroTurf. You know, they got a scramble drill in place. When Vic gets out of the pocket and scrambles, the deepest guy stays deep, and then the guys that are shorter on the routes are supposed to come back to him. Nobody came back to Mike Vick. You see, he just bounced up off the turf there. And you can see him wincing there. I mean, it's another body shot. But they just add up.
He said last week only one hit hurt him when he did not strap his chin strap prior to the play. Took a shot to the mouth.
Somebody took a shot there.
34-yard punt, 3 yards on the return. 11 wins apiece for the Patriots and the Chiefs. Colts 10-3. New England and Kansas City both with leads. Colts clinch a playoff berth with a victory today. They went to the AFC Championship game back in '95, lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They clinched the division with either 2 more wins or 1 win and a Tennessee loss.
Well, you know, that Kansas City team has to go to Minnesota next week. You know, Minnesota trying to win the NFC North, win it out outright, and that'll be a lot of fireworks. There'll be a lot of touchdowns, you would think, a lot of scoring in that one.
Tampa Bay looked to stay alive, leading Houston 13-0. From the 32, Colts with a 24-0 lead. Pass complete. Nice move by Stokely. And brings it up to the 49-yard line. A 17-yard reception for Brandon Stokely, his 3rd catch. Harrison has 6. Reggie Wayne with 5 receptions. Peyton Manning is now 16 of 19.
It's target practice.
3 touchdowns to 3 different wide receivers. This time it's Wayne. Nice catch. Down at the Falcons 44. Gain of 7 with just over a minute to go in the first half.
Well, Peyton's razor sharp, but everything's working together. I mean, Atlanta can't take anything away right now. And then the line is just giving them all kinds of time to find those receivers.
Enter and James. First down inside the Falcons 40. And a timeout is taken by the Colts with 47 seconds to go in the first half.
This is like a performance of Indianapolis right now. Like Indianapolis is trying to get in the BCS. It's trying to put as many points on the board to influence, you know, the pollsters.
They have over 300 yards of offense in the first half. They have a 100-yard rusher in James, a 100-yard receiver in Harrison, and Manning just under 200 yards in the air. And a field goal kicker who never misses.
Yeah, well, you know, he marks off his area there. See this? That's his distance. So if you want to stay perfect the way he is, somewhere around 75 or 76 kicks this year in a row, you mark off your area. And nobody's allowed to go in that area. That's yours. You know, it's like well, you carve out your space.
A rare incompletion from Manning.
Peyton was telling us that, you know, that ball was for Reggie Wayne. Reggie Wayne was a first-round pick out of Miami and struggled, had some injuries, and he said, and he's the number 2 receiver, Reggie Wayne. He said, we used to do the number 2 receiver, the guy opposite Marvin Harrison by committee. But now Reggie Wayne has stepped up, and you can count him. He said, you know, he used to be, he'd go and score 2 touchdown passes one week and drop 3 passes the next week. Now he's getting consistent performances from there, and then this guy here has stepped up, Brandon Stokely, the 3rd receiver.
Manning on second down, complete at the 31-yard line to the tight end Pollard for a gain of 7. 3rd and 3, 30 seconds to play. Manning in trouble, down he goes. Back at the 40-yard line, Travis Hall. Now with 4.5 sacks. Colts call timeout.
Don't tell Peyton that it's 24-0. He's frustrated. Gets getting sacked. Waited a little too long here trying to get something to develop. Good rush that time by Travis Hall against Ryan Deem, the new right tackle here for the Colts. Patrick Kearney in on there as well.
And with that sack did, Brian, is taking Indianapolis out of field goal range. Would be a 58-yarder from that point, so they send out the punter, Hunter Smith, who has not punted yet today.
You ever wanted to know how an offense is doing? See how many times the punter punts.
Colts with 4 scoring drives and 2 turnovers. Smith's first punt. Rossum lets it go. And it's down at the 8-yard line by Donald Strickland. 31-yard punt with 6 seconds remaining in the first half. All Indianapolis, they lead 24-0.
Well, you know, it's 24-0. Just take a look at the punter, Hunter Smith, and the way that he pooch punts this. It's almost like a rugby ball. It's not your normal punt drop. He drops this ball like it falls back on his foot. Watch this. Watch him catch it here. Now watch out. See, he kicks it on the tip. See that? I mean, you want to know how you pooch a punt. You kick the ball on the tip. You don't kick it so that you get underneath the ball. Flat.
Looks like that would hurt.
Well, don't do it barefoot. Yeah.
Well, believe me, I won't.
Don't try that, Kenny.
Peyton Manning with 3 first-half touchdown passes. 203 yards in the air. 18 of 22. 102 yards for Marvin Harrison. 106 for Edgerrin James, and a rough first half for Michael Vick.
Well, the big 3 for the Colts have done 60 minutes of work in the first 30 minutes. I mean, Manning looks like he's making a last late season purge here to win that MVP award. Edgerrin James back on track. Got his longest run of the year today. For Marvin Harrison, what can you say? And Tony Dungy, you're not going to see him get too excited over there on the sideline. It's just not going to ever be his style, because his vision is much bigger than one game, or the AFC East title, or the AFC North title. I mean, AFC South title is just not going to be his style. He's looking to get to the Super Bowl.
Feely's kickoff out of bounds, typifying what kind of a day it has been for the Atlanta Falcons. Second half kickoff.
The ball will be placed at the 40-yard line.
Out of bounds, and the Colts again with terrific field position.
Well, you know, you look at Wade Phillips, and that's Joe DeCamillis, of course, married Dan Reeves' daughter and the son-in-law to Dan Reeves. And it hadn't been easy for anybody here on this staff. Wade, who's been with Dan in both Denver, here in Atlanta. And, you know, I mean, Wade made it clear that Dan Reeves asked Wade to take over for him. You know, and Wade didn't want that position of filling in for him. And there's a respect amongst most of the staff, all the staff, for what Dan has done and what he stands for.
Edgerrin James gaining 3 on first down. In fact, Wade told us last night, he said, my title is PI, Professional Interim Coach.
Meadows down on the ground, the starting right guard. We've had injuries to the offensive line.
Brian, let's check in with the 3rd member of our broadcast crew this afternoon, Dave Benz. Dave?
Hey, thanks a lot, Kenny. I had a chance to talk to Tony Dungy as he made his way back out onto the field. Told me he was really pleased with his team's energy here in the first half, especially on defense, as they came away with no points, especially considering his offense turned the ball over 2 times. He does, however, expect Michael Vick to work some magic here in the second half. Said his team has to be on guard not to sit on this 24-0 lead. Let's go back upstairs.
All right, thanks, Dave. Colts training staff continue to check out Adam Meadows. Early 3rd quarter. We'll be back. Right guard Adam Meadows out of the University of Georgia helped off.
Yeah, well, here he is. He gets rolled up by Keith Newman and Edgerrin James right in the back of that leg. And Adam Meadows was starting for Steve Shula, a rookie who is out with a bad neck right now. So 2 linemen out for the Colts. Tupe Pico in there for him right now.
A screen to James. And Edgerrin takes it up to the 48-yard line, a gain of 5 before he's tackled by Chris Graft, setting up 3rd down and 2.
Well, the Colts were pretty thin on the offensive line to begin with. I mentioned that Tarek Glenn was out for 6 weeks at left tackle this year, and a rookie, Makoa Freitas, came in, a rookie, and played very well at left tackle. And their backups have performed well this season.
Manning on 3rd and 2, and the pass complete for a 1st down to Brandon Stokely in Falcons territory. Stokely's 4th catch of the day.
What you look at with Peyton Manning here, and he's calling all the signals up there at the line, just a reminder there to Marvin Harrison. How Peyton beats you is with the speed of his decision making. The ball is out of his hands so quickly, and he's got a radar that can see all 54 yards wide of the field.
Off the play fake. Complete again to Stokely for another Colts 1st down at the Falcons 37. Manning defines student of the game.
Yeah, watch right here, Kenny. On this play action fake, watch the separation he gets after he fakes the ball here to Edgerrin James. Right here, he's got about 7 or 8 yards where nobody is in front of him. You get that kind of a comfort level. Watch it here. See, there's nobody around him there. He's got 6 or 7 yards before the closest defender is near him.
And Stokely, who came into the game with 5 catches all season, has 5 today. Here's Stokely again in the end zone, his 2nd touchdown today. 37 yards from Manning to Stokely. Manning's 4th touchdown pass. And the Colts extend their lead. It is now 30-0.
That's a straight streak. Brandon Stokely here runs right by Derrick Ross. No safety help, nothing. Derrick Ross just signed off of Dallas Cowboys, released from the Cowboys 2 weeks ago, ran right by him. And that Brandon Stokely, if you remember back 3 years ago, he caught that first touchdown pass from Trent Dilfer in the Super Bowl when Baltimore beat the Giants down there in Tampa.
Jet adding the point after. Stokely, 6 receptions, 2 touchdowns. 31-0 Indianapolis. They are celebrating here in Indianapolis. Colts well on their way to clinching a playoff berth today, and potentially the division if Buffalo can take care of business against Tennessee.
A little dance before they kick off looks like something they should have on at halftime.
Brings back memories of the Dirty Bird.
Yeah. Those are memories.
Allen Rossum, good return out to the 37-yard line. And that is where the Falcons will start from as we take you back to the first half performance of Michael Vick.
Well, what you see here is the speed of this Colts defense. You see the youth and the speed, because they kept Vick in the pocket here in the first half, and then the few times he got out of the pocket, they were able to chase him down and hit him.
Here's all you need to know if you're just tuned in. Peyton Manning has thrown 4 touchdowns. Michael Vick has 2 completions. From the 36, Duckett. Gain of just 1. Early 3rd quarter, 31-0. Colts with the lead.
Well, here you are. You get the quarterback comparison here right now. Of course, you just mentioned Manning and the 4 touchdowns. Manning doesn't have to run. And he has been sacked 1 time. He doesn't have to avoid pressure very much because the ball's out of his hands. Michael Vick still learning the game, still trying to understand coverages and where his hots are, and the open receivers is struggling. And been hit 9 times today. Peyton Manning doesn't get hit 9 times in half a season.
From the 36, Vick complete. It's his 3rd completion. All 3 have been to Brian Finneran.
Yeah, and they caught the Colts that time in zone blitz in the left end. Raheem Brock actually had to drop back and cover Finneran. And watch Raheem Brock here. He's going to pop out into the screen. Here he is. You got a defense fin on Finner, and you hope that you can win that matchup. You don't know when it's going to happen, but when you get it, you got to hit it.
Only the 5th first down for the Falcons today. Duckett. And Duckett picks up yet another first down to the 37-yard line of the Colts as he gained 14.
I tell you, that was a touchdown saving tackle by Strickland, a rookie back there. You know, this Colts defense, they're playing a lot of young players because of injuries. You know, Nick Harper not starting today. David Macklin is. Dries Bashir not starting. Got a backup there. They're playing a lot of backups there in the secondary, and they've been outstanding here the last 2 weeks. Tennessee last week and then today.
Down goes Vick. For the 4th time, it's the 2nd sack of the game for Marcus Washington.
Boy, Mike Vick is letting his offensive line know about it, too. Jumped right back in their face. Complete miscommunication here, as here's Washington. And the right tackle, Todd Weiner, never stepped out to pick him up. See, Weiner went inside, Washington went right by it. And Vick has got to have a trust with his offensive line going, okay, I see him coming on the blitz, but you're supposed to get him. I can't worry about it. Right now, that trust just got broken.
Loss of 8 yards on the sack. 2nd down and 18. Vick complete to the tight end Crumpler. But coming up to make the tackle, his very good friend, David Thornton.
Well, I tell you, that David Thornton, you know, what a story he is. You know, he didn't start his first 4 years in college. He was a drum major. You know, that's the guy that leads the band. And then in his 5th year, actually it was Al-J. Crumpler from the Falcons that went to the head coach, John Bunning, and said, John Bunning was the new coach, and he said, look, you've got to give this guy a scholarship. He's a worker, he's a good player, and he played his senior year, got a scholarship. Last year was the 4th-round draft pick of the Colts. And in his 2nd year as a starter and leading tackle.
3rd down and 18. Vick firing downfield, incomplete. A big hit by Donald Strickland to break up the pass intended for Terrence Edwards.
And it's all going well for the Colts. You know, I mean, the offense is clicking, the defense is shutting down one of the most dynamic players in the league. And all of a sudden, you know, the confidence starts to grow. That was going to be a drop anyways. Even before the hit, the ball was dropped. That was a perfect throw by Vick, too. Mike Vick not getting much help from anybody on that series. His offensive line, Terrence Edwards.
Walters lets it go. And do the Falcons keep it out of the end zone? They did.
You know what the challenge of Peyton Manning is right now? To go 98 yards.
Yep. Good job by the Falcons special teams. George Lane kept it out. Our quarterback comparison, it's not much of a comparison.
No, it isn't. It's just it's a one-sided graphic right now.
Manning has completed 85% of his pass attempts. Coming out from the 2-yard line, James, gain of 3 out to the 5.
I think there's a small group of guys that are MVP candidates this year in this league. You know, I think one is in his division, Steve McNair. Lines up every week, plays hurt. I think Priest Holmes in Kansas City is a guy that they can't win without in Kansas City. And then Jamal Lewis has carried that Baltimore Raven team from the running back position. I think Randy Moss, the 13 touchdown passes, gives that team a chance against every opponent with his ability to strike deep.
Penalty flags on 2nd and 7. Who would you vote for?
Well, right now, I mean, I got a nice seat here today watching Peyton Manning. You know, the fact that they've beaten Tennessee twice this year, that they've got control of their division, and it's about what he's done this year. You know, to me, the MVP is who's the best player. That's what I think it is. And not if you took Manning out of this offense, could they still win games? But I think that, you know, certainly I think the guys on the outside coming up, maybe like a Donovan McNabb is coming up. He's indispensable to his team. And then he's doing the most on a consistent basis every single week. And the fact that we've seen Manning 94 straight games in a row.
Brett Favre, of course, the all-time leader, broke Ron Jaworski's record a couple of years ago. Jaws here today watching Peyton Manning. Kerry Collins was third on the list. The Giants quarterback, 67 straight starts, suffered an injury last week, will not start tonight in New Orleans. So Aaron Brooks is now number 3, Mike Vick's cousin, who has made 50 straight starts for the Saints.
Well, Mike Vick said that every chance he gets to watch Peyton Manning, he likes to watch him. Because that's what he wants to be. He wants to be a guy that can carve up a defense the way Manning has today.
More flags.
Prior to the snap, false start, 71, offense. Still third down.
That's Ryan Deem, the right tackle. Colts have lost the right guard, Adam Meadows, due to a sprained right knee. There's Meadows.
Well, Meadows has been the right tackle for years here in Indianapolis in his 7th year. And he got moved this year. Ryan Deem went in, a younger player at right tackle, and he was really despondent, depressed about it. And then, he just put the whole thing in perspective, that things could be worse. And made his first start ever last week at right guard, and you could just see the disgust here today. So he takes the tape off knowing that he's done for the day.
Third down and 9. Manning from the end zone. Throws it away. So the Colts will be forced to punt for only the 2nd time. Speaking of Colts offensive linemen, when I walked into the Dome today, I looked up into the rafters for your old number 62.
No. There's only one, Chris Hinton. Chris Hinton is the only ex-Colt lineman, Indianapolis Colt lineman, up there on the wall. What a great one he was.
For some reason, I could not find that number 62.
No, but I was a teammate of Hint. And I tell you, Hint went the 1989 season. Actually played for the Falcons, finished with the Falcons. Went the 89 season, give up 1 sack the entire year. Yeah, it was flawless in his performance.
Who, you or Chris?
No, Chris was the guy that got that invitation to Hawaii every year.
Rawson. Alan Rawson in Colts territory, down at the 40. 13-yard return following a 50-yard punt by Hunter Smith. I want 62 up there.
I've been through the desert on a horse with no name. It felt good to be out of the rain.
We've given this horse a name. He's a former Colt. Thanks to the magic of television, we've put old number 62 up in the rafters here at the RCA Dome.
I shedded a little bit of blood out here on the AstroTurf of this Coliseum.
Duckett to the 37.
Now, I was here in 1991 when Ron Meyer was the coach, and he was fired during the season. And then Rick Venturi became the interim coach, and I just remember that. I mean, we were a team that hadn't won a game, struggling and all that, and we got 1 win that year. We beat the Jets on the road, and that was a huge deal, just getting that win. But I just remember how everything was up in the air, the turmoil that surrounded that whole thing, and who's going to be the new coach, and what's going to happen. And who's evaluating us right now? It was like it was a leaderless program.
Vick on 2nd down, intended for Peerless Price. David Macklin on the coverage. In a 31-0 game, Falcons 0 for 6 on 3rd down today. Have to get to the 31 for a first. Bobbled and then dropped by Crumpler. Speaking of dropped, Vick goes down again.
Yeah, it's just too many. Here's Dwight Freeney, who is really developing into a real force. He's a guy that can turn speed into power, meaning he can get off the ball fast, and then he can power and run through people. Yeah, right now, the Colts defensive line, it's like they've got the shovel on 4th down here.
Falcons going for it on 4th down. Instead of attempting a 54-yard field goal, and Feely has struggled as of late. Vick takes off and picks up the 1st down. His best run of the day, forced out of bounds by Strickland. And at the 21-yard line after a 16-yard scamper.
Well, I tell you, they had two guys. The Colts had two guys waiting for Vic to do this right here. Here they are. They're both going to be looking and to try and keep him right in that spot. There they are. And the first time today that Vic has been able to get out. I mean, it's David Thornton, and David Thornton's like, okay, I'm going to keep him in front of me. I got Griffin there. I take care of him. Brackett there, not able to wrap him up.
Against Carolina on Sunday, Vic had 5 runs of 12 yards or longer. Here's Duckett. And T.J. Duckett takes it down to the 16-yard line. Gain of 4. Raheem Brock brought him down.
But, you know, I mean, you see last week, I mean, he was just off the charts. And he said he was just so happy to come through the tunnel and get back onto the field. And he was hoping, he said yesterday as he came into the room to talk to us, he had that suit on, Kenny, that you wish that you had a suit like that, except that when you put it on, it never looks as good as it would on Mike Vick.
You're wearing a new suit today, and I'll have to say, it did not look as good on you as
see?
Michael's suit looked on him. There's Duckett inside the 5, into the end zone. Touchdown, T.J. Duckett for the 7th consecutive game, and that is a new Falcons record. Duckett had been tied with Terrence Mathis. He has now scored in 7 straight games.
On the left side, Todd McClure opens up a little bit of a hole, and then Duckett shows his speed and why. You know, there was a time with him and Warwick Dunn, it was a battle of who should get the most touches.
So the Falcons go for it on 4th down. Vic scrambles for 16. And 2 plays later, a 17-yard touchdown run by T.J. Duckett. Colts lead is now 31-7. A positive for the Falcons in a 3-10 season, a 31-7 game. T.J. Duckett setting a new club record. Remember, Feely's last kickoff sailed out of bounds. This one goes through the end zone. So the Colts, who lead by 24, will start on their own 20-yard line now. Buffalo leads Tennessee 17-6. If the Bills hang on and the Colts win, Indianapolis would clinch the division.
Clinch the AFC South. You know, and any team that plays in a dome, like the Colts do, you always kind of think, oh, they're a dome team, they're not a tough team. And it bothered the Colts, and it always bothers those teams until they go on the road like they did last week and beat Tennessee. And so, you know, as the season rolls on for good teams, you've constantly got to clear hurdles. And beating Tennessee and Nashville last week was one of those hurdles that the Colts built on.
Colts did not commit a turnover in either of their games against the Titans this season. Off the play fake, Manning going deep for Reggie Wayne. And a flag. Ray Buchanan, the former Colt, on the coverage. Wayne nearly made a spectacular catch, and Wade Phillips is not a happy man.
Pass interference, number 34, defense. First down.
Well, Manning once again with the play action fake, buying time here, allowing Reggie Wayne to get down the field. Hides the ball, gets his head turned around immediately, locates the target. Here's Buchanan coming over the top. Well, I'll tell you, he got there just when the ball got there.
Here's James, gain of 4. When we spoke to Ray Buchanan last night and asked him his thoughts on the firing of Dan Reeves, Ray said, I like to think about the good times I had with Dan.
Yeah.
Trip to the Super Bowl back in '98, playoff win in Green Bay last January.
Yeah, he'd love to see Dan Reeves smile. You know, they had differences, had some run-ins, but I mean, he was a pickup there, went to that Super Bowl. You know, you can never take that away from a player.
2nd down and 6. Manning to the near side for Wayne. And he picks up the first down. Gain of 11 down to the Falcons 25 for Reggie Wayne, his 7th catch. Marvin Harrison has 6. Brandon Stokely 6.
about Peyton Manning telling us yesterday that him and Eli and 6 buddies of his from college took a vacation this offseason to the Jersey Shore. To the Jersey, went to Ocean City on the Jersey Shore for a vacation, 6 days.
Play action. Near side, caught by Stokely. And it sounded like Peyton and his brother and their friends had as much fun as if they had gone to Hawaii or Europe.
No, I mean, he went out there and, throwing the football around on the beach. They ran into Ron Jaworski out there, Jaws. He kind of picked his brain about things. Tennessee making a little bit of a comeback up here on Buffalo. Just scored 17-14 now in the 3rd quarter.
Second down and 6. James. Now, you've been known to travel frequently during the offseason, both when you played and now during your days as a broadcaster. Have you ever gone to the Jersey Shore?
Yeah, but I live in Jersey. I mean, it's like in my backyard.
And you've still gone there?
Yeah, I still go there. Yeah, I know exactly the places that he went to. It kind of just reinforces that notion that no matter if he wins the MVP or a Super Bowl, whatever, he's just going to be a regular guy. He's still going to be just Peyton.
How do you think folks reacted when he showed up at the Shore?
Come. Well, Harrison's a Philadelphia guy.
Yep.
Pride of Roman Catholic High School right there. He's probably been to the Jersey Shore a few times.
Remember, Manning threw 6 touchdown passes in his return home to New Orleans earlier this season. He has 5 today as the Colts extend their lead.
Watch his concentration on Harrison here. Precision route running, the best route runner in the NFL. That's what Ray Buchanan told us yesterday. No socks, no pens coming out of his sock, no dances with him. He just expects to go back and score a 6th touchdown.
A rout in Indianapolis, now 38-7. Coming off a win last week over the Giants, getting set to host the Cowboys.
Good young quarterback there, Tim Hasselbeck, got his first NFL win last week against the Giants.
Starting his 3rd game in a row today for the injured Patrick Ramsey. Ramsey, like Peyton Manning, a quarterback from the state of Louisiana.
Yep.
Some of you will see the Packers and the Chargers, or the Panthers and the Cardinals with Bill Romanowski in the Fox booth in Tempe, Arizona today.
I think it's important for the Cowboys. They've lost a little bit here the last few weeks. They got spanked by the Philadelphia Eagles a week ago up in Philadelphia, and they're trying to get back on track.
Both Dallas and Carolina have tailed off the last couple of weeks. Carolina losing in Atlanta in overtime on Sunday night.
To keep their wild card hopes alive.
Pass complete. First reception of the game for Peerless Price.
They went for negative yards.
Yep. Loss of 2 on the reception by Price. Well, Rich McKay, the Buccaneers general manager, has been given permission to speak with other clubs. He interviewed with Falcons owner Arthur Blank prior to last season. And Blank told us on the pregame show today that Rich McKay is on the short list that the Falcons have put together.
Yeah, and what's unusual about it is that he's the general manager of the Tampa Bay Bucks, is that the Bucks are not going to ask for any compensation. Basically, he's free to leave. And of course, Arthur Blank tried to sign him 2 years ago to become the general manager of Atlanta.
Kick out of bounds, picks up the first down at the 38-yard line. By the way, on that previous play, Price not credited with a reception because he was behind the line of scrimmage. That was a carry, so Peerless still without a catch today.
Well, what's important about Rich McKay is that Rich McKay will then be in a position, if they sign him as the general manager, to select a new coach. And that impacts the franchise there, Michael Vick, Wade Phillips as a coach, what coaches will stay, because anytime there's a coaching change, there's coaching changes. Wade Phillips along with Arthur Blank here.
Prior to the game today, Arthur Blank also spent some time chatting with Tony Dungy, the Colts head coach.
Well, you know, one of Tony's proteges out there, you know, Tony Dungy has a tree out there of guys that have come up through his system. Guys like Herman Edwards in New York. Rumors about Herman Edwards in New York coming to Atlanta. Lovie Smith, the defensive coordinator in St. Louis. You know, a guy that Rich McKay would be familiar with.
The only problem with Lovie Smith is the Falcons cannot talk to him until
their season is over.
Rams are through.
Right.
Jets will not make the playoffs, so they could potentially talk to Edwards in a little over 2 weeks. Here's Duckett out to the 41-yard line. And we've also heard the names of some college coaches. Pete Carroll from USC. Nick Saban from LSU as potential candidates.
Yeah, you know, one of the other reasons why Arthur Blank made the move here with 3 games to go was it gave him a window to talk to those college coaches. Nick Saban at LSU, if Nick would be interested, or Pete Carroll, before the bowl games begin. Wade Phillips would still love to be another head coach in this league. He's been a head coach in Buffalo and Denver and successful in both places. We didn't think that he would be a candidate here, but he wants to have a strong resume to finish this season, to be a candidate someplace else.
He went to the playoffs 3 times during his 5 years with the Broncos and the Bills. 3 quarters in the books here in Indianapolis. Peyton Manning with 5 touchdown passes today. Colts celebrating, they lead 38-7. Back at Indianapolis, Kenny Albert, Ryan Baldinger. Big day for the Colts. They lead the Falcons 38-7 as we start the 4th quarter. 3rd down and 7 for the Falcons.
Dwight Freeney on the backside of Michael Vick here, coming with the rush.
Vick's pass complete to the fullback, George Lane. He needed 7, gained only 3. So the Falcons will punt it away.
That Mike Doss right there, having a heck of a rookie season. You know, all he's ever done is play on championship teams. A guy that played on 2 high school championship teams in Canton, Ohio, and played on Ohio State's national championship team. Would love to be part of a Super Bowl team here.
Took a class trip to the Hall of Fame as an 11-year-old. He told us Alan Page is the only Canton native who went on to an induction into the Hall of Fame.
I was impressed he knew one of the Purple People Eaters.
Well, look at Falcons owner and CEO Arthur Blank, who had quite a week.
Well, it was a difficult week for him. But, you know, he's a businessman, and he made a business decision. And he wasn't very effective. They actually put the punter back in there to run around and act like Michael Vick in practice this week. And so they're like, you weren't even good enough to, you know, to give us a look on the scout team. Maybe he did give him a pretty good look because they did a heck of a job bottling up Michael Vick today.
Here's Rhodes. Rhodes out to the 24-yard line. Chased down by Travis Hall. The numbers on Peyton Manning: completed 83% of his attempts, 5 touchdowns, a near perfect rating for Peyton. It's his highest completion percentage in a game in his 6-year career.
Well, you know, he went to Philadelphia last year and threw 4 touchdown passes, and at the end of that game had a perfect quarterback rating, which is 158.3.
Also had a perfect rating in New Orleans this year.
This year when he threw the 6 touchdown passes. I'm trying to figure out how this isn't perfect. I have to take a look at that formula.
You don't have the formula memorized?
No, it's complicated, Ken. It really is. It'd be like Bill Gates to figure it out.
Heward's first pass attempt is caught by Marcus Pollard. The completion percentage for Manning today, 83.3. 3rd best in Colts history in one game, behind a fellow named Unitas, who completed 85% of his passes in a game in Atlanta back in 1967, 84% against Miami in 1971.
So he's got a little electronic earpiece in there. He's got, that helmet is basically a transistor radio for him. He just listened to the play from Tom Moore out to Brock Heward. Now he's watching to see if Heward sees the field the way he did. He finds the open receiver here.
This is only the second game Heward has played in this season. Came into that game in New Orleans. Rhodes into Falcons territory down to the Atlanta 42. 24 yards. Longest carry of the season for Dominique Rhodes.
And Brock Heward is carrying a helmet back for Gale, the rookie defensive lineman. He just made that tackle. I think he might have just gotten that nose busted.
Rookie out of Tennessee, 7th round draft pick.
Yeah, that's a rookie mistake.
Yep.
You know, don't go making that tackle without the helmet. And buckle it up so it doesn't come flying off again. Both buckles.
Play clock winding down. And Heward calls timeout with the clock down to 1. We'll step out early 4th quarter. 38-7, Indianapolis.
Yeah, that Tom Moore is a heck of a coach. You know, he coached Tony Dungy at the University of Minnesota. And then they both went to Pittsburgh, the Steelers together in 1977. Tom Moore coached the wide receivers at Pittsburgh when Terry Bradshaw was the quarterback there. He actually tried to get Tony Dungy to be a wide receiver at Pittsburgh with him. But they had injuries to the backfield, the defensive backfield, and they made him a defensive back at that time. But they got a relationship now for well over 25 years.
Rhodes tackled by Chris Draft. Gained just 1. Well, Manning spread the ball around. 7 receptions apiece for his wide receivers, Harrison, Stokely, and
You know what
Wayne.
that is? Those are stocking stuffers. I mean, your stocking is stuff. You get to spread the ball around like that, and you get that many touches to your wide receivers. 21 receptions by the wide receivers right there, and evenly balanced, and all in the end zone.
And then Edgerrin James gained 126 yards on the ground.
You know, sometimes you say when you get this kind of talent, this kind of offense, there's not enough footballs to go around. But today, that one ball got around to all of them.
Heward forced to call a second timeout. Chatting with the tight end Pollard. Peyton Manning not used to observing. Seahawks continue to struggle on the road. St. Louis Rams clinch the division with a victory. They lead by 9.
Yeah, you know, Seattle won 1 game on the road this year, undefeated at home, 1 win on the road. Schizophrenic team right now.
Seahawks will still be in the hunt for a wild card. 2nd and 9. And Heward sacked back at the 44-yard line by Patrick Kearney.
Take a look at that play there, and you see Heward getting hit. You see him burning these timeouts right here. And Brock hasn't played a lot here. I mean, nobody does when Peyton Manning's your starter. But that's what happens when you're not used to the speed of the game. You know, you get hit, you burn timeouts, the ball doesn't get out of your hands. How does Peyton Manning get the ball out in 2.2 seconds? He knows exactly where he's going. He's such a student of the game. He beats you with that speed of decision.
3rd down and 11. Off the play fake. Heward takes off. Looking to do his best Michael Vick imitation and slides down to the 35. Now what this will mean, if the Colts send out the field goal unit, this will be a 52-yard attempt for Vanderjagt, and they do not. They send out the punter Smith, so Vanderjagt's streak will stay alive.
Well, some people might say, well, he doesn't want to risk the streak. But I think, you know, right now...
Going by the score?
Yeah, I don't think they want to run up the score here. I mean, I just think there's some, you know, dignity with Tony Dungy here that not trying to score at this point. You know, you march out the field goal kicker and you think about the kicker and the record and getting that going, but you got to think about the opponent as well. It's some sportsmanship that I think we come to expect and enjoy from Tony Dungy.
Delay offense. Still 4th down.
Punter Smith will now have an extra 5 yards to work with as the Colts take the delay of game penalty. You know, getting back to Heward, since Manning was drafted back in '97, coming into the game today, his backups have attempted in those 6 years a total of 23 passes.
Means he's been in there a whole lot, isn't it?
He's played 99% of the snaps. Broke his jaw during a game back in 2000. He missed one play. Rossum on the return. Out of bounds at the 24 with 8:37 remaining. All Colts, they lead 38-7.
You talk about Peyton Manning, and, you know, Mike Vick doesn't look like he might not come out here remaining in the game. But I believe that we've seen different quarterbacks win Super Bowls over the last couple of years. We've seen Trent Dilfer win a Super Bowl. And, you know, he's backup quarterback now, and Atlanta coming out. But I think that, Doug Johnson, but I think that you still need to try to develop a franchise quarterback. Because what a franchise quarterback is a guy that lines up like Peyton does every single week. And with that, you always have that chance to win. And not just win, but compete and play for a playoff every year. And there's only a couple of them. McNabb, Manning, Favre, McNair. And it's no coincidence that those teams have been winning over the last 3, 4, 5 years in a row.
9-yard pickup for Justin Griffith, rookie out of Mississippi State. Vick's day is over. Dismal 6 of 19 for 47 yards. One interception, and he was sacked 4 times. So Doug Johnson, who started 8 games for Vick this season, started the first 6. Kurt Kittner started the next 4, and then Johnson inserted for 2 more. Doug Johnson now in at quarterback. After the 34-yard line, Duckett close to the first down as Peyton Manning 5 touchdown passes today. Falcon fans.
Yeah, I remember the time when they were making that march to the Super Bowl camp.
Big haul for George Lane, who did not carry the ball all season until today.
He just got a good cut, throw the tape off the elbow there. But I remember when they were making that run to the Super Bowl in 1998, and, you know, guys like Jamal Anderson and Ray Buchanan couldn't wait to come in and talk to the television people and really announce that we've got a coach in Atlanta. We've got a real pro. And they never had somebody like that down there. So, you know, they always contribute. You know, part of the reason for that success in '98 is how they finished the '97 season. They finished winning their last 3 games in a row.
Something we saw from Minnesota and Carolina last season as the catch is made by Peerless Price, and both the Vikings and the Panthers were able to carry it over into this 2003 campaign.
You know, the Dan Reeves era is over, but you know, in 23 years, he's got a Hall of Fame career. He's got 201 career wins. And no matter who they find, they're not going to find anybody more professional or who carried themselves with more dignity. And in this day and age in sports, and sometimes how it gets out of hand, I don't think that can ever be overlooked.
Picked up that 200th win at the Meadowlands against one of his former clubs, the Giants. Win number 201 just 7 days ago. A win over Carolina. 9 Super Bowls as a player, an assistant coach, and a head coach. Involved in 15 playoff games during his NFL career.
Yeah. You know, he was injured one year in Dallas, and he couldn't play that year. And Tom Landry offered him a position to coach. He never thought about coaching before. And he was so miserable that he took the coaching job just because he missed playing so much. And sometimes, you know, blessings are a disguise. And I think that's what happened there. He got a chance to find something that he truly loved to do.
Broken up by David Macklin, intended for Peerless Price. Roberto Garza, the Falcons left guard, shaken up. Well, the Titans have come back. They now lead the Bills in the 4th quarter, 21-17. So if Tennessee wins, all the Colts can do today is clinch a playoff berth. They would still need either one more win or one more Tennessee loss to clinch the division. Indianapolis just 5 minutes away from their 11th win of the season. Coming this February, feel the rush as NASCAR returns to Fox for 17 weeks of high-speed thrills and excitement. Tony Stewart, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Jeff Gordon, and Matt Kenseth lead the world's best drivers when NASCAR returns to Fox this February.
You know, Marvin Harrison last year, he set the NFL record for number of catches in a season. How many was it, Kenny?
143.
143 catches. He put some unbelievable distance on that record. That Herman Moore had the record in Detroit in 1995, and he blew that record away last year. But he's not going to put up those kind of numbers this year because he's got balance. He's got Reggie Wayne now. He's got Troy Walters. We saw the day that Brandon Stokely had. He's got more weapons this year. It's a more balanced attack than it was last year.
Brandon Stokely with a career day, career high 95 yards, 2 touchdowns, caught only 5 passes all season coming in. 7 receptions today. Peyton Manning, 5 touchdown passes, 290 yards in the air. Michael Vick only 6 for 19, sacked 4 times, 2 turnovers. Falcons will drop to 3-11. They will play on Saturday in Tampa. Buccaneers still in the hunt for a playoff spot, while the Colts will host Denver next Sunday. Duckett stopped about 2 yards shy of a first down.
Well, you saw the difference in the passing yards today. This defense has gotten better. I mean, the talent has gotten better. The system that Tony Dungy runs is proven. You know, he couldn't be in Tampa Bay last year to enjoy it and the success they had, but all the players there gave him credit. In fact, he still stays in touch with a lot of the players down in Tampa.
And as he told Howie Long on our pregame show, his family is still living down in the Tampa area. 4.5 to go. Falcons going for it on 4th down. 4th and 3. They need to get to the 25. Penalty markers. Duckett on the free play picks up the first down to the Colts 22.
That's one of the rare mistakes by Indianapolis today, and that's one of the things that they've cut down on, is the mistakes and the turnovers. That's always been a hallmark of the Tony Dungy team.
All right, it's Tony Dungy's 2nd season in Indianapolis. They lost their playoff
Offside,
game 41-0.
92, defense. First down.
To the Jets last season. How far do you feel this Colt team can go in the playoffs?
Well, I think all the teams that are in the playoff hunt right now, you know, I mean, whether it's Kansas City right now, I mean, any division, you know, Philadelphia, every team has a yeah, but to it. Yeah, like Indianapolis, they can do it, yeah, but. And, you know, and the yeah, but for Indianapolis is the back end of the secondary, where Strickland and Macklin and Michael Dawson, young players are. You know, so, I mean, until I think they firm that up, I think that's going to be the weakness. That's going to be the area that they've got to work on.
Pass caught by the tight end, Ryan Kozlowski. From the 23. Johnson firing. Intended for Finneran. Walt Harris got a piece of it. Washington shaken up. Marcus Washington with 2 sacks today.
I'll say this about Indianapolis. You know, they're 6-1 on the road. You see this play being defended here. Good play by Walt Harris coming over the top, almost by his own guy, but they're 6-1 on the road. And what that says, Tony Dungy told us, is this offense can play in any atmosphere. You can go to Tennessee. They've won in Philly. They've won in Cleveland. Hostile environments where there's noise, but they're mature. Manning can call all the signals at the line. They can go to a silent count. They can be efficient offensively on the road.
Johnson under pressure. He escapes. Pass is caught by Crumpler, but well shy of the marker. Colts with that 6-1 road record. Their only road loss down in Jacksonville by 5 points. They're one of 5 teams, and Atlanta is another, with a better record on the road this season than at home.
Yeah, you know, Indianapolis lost that game right at the end just a couple of weeks ago to the Patriots here. Otherwise, they could lay claim to having as good a record as there is in the AFC.
Falcons going for it on 4th down and 7. They need to get to the 13-yard line for a first down. Johnson's pass incomplete again. Walt Harris on the coverage. Colts take over on downs with 2.5 minutes remaining. Colts will finish up with games against Denver and then in Houston as they look to wrap up the division. If Tennessee holds on today, Tony Dungy's club would have to wait another week to clinch. Colts take over on downs, 2.5 remaining. Brock Heward remains in at quarterback. Here's Rhodes out to the 26-yard line. Brock Heward, along with his brother Damon, the answer to a trivia question. They were the first brothers in the NFL to start at quarterback
touchdown
on
passes.
the same day back in November of 2000, and then they were joined 2 weeks ago by the Hasselbecks.
Tim and Matt Hasselbeck. See Tim Hasselbeck on the game coming up after this. Cowboys and the Redskins.
We have hit the 2-minute warning here in Indianapolis. 2 minutes to play in Indianapolis. Kenny Albert, Brian Baldinger, a 38-7 lead for the Colts, who will clinch a playoff berth with their win today, and then await the conclusion. 8.5 minutes remaining in that Titans-Bills game. They clinch the division should Tennessee lose.
Tennessee, of course, in Buffalo playing that Music City Miracle game 4 years ago. Wade Phillips was coaching that Buffalo team.
A lot of Bills fans on the Colts sidelines.
You know, one of the things that happened this week in the NFL is teams voted on the Pro Bowl. So the Pro Bowl ballot electees will come out this week, and I think the Colts have at least 4 that should make it. I think Marvin Harrison, Peyton Manning, and Vanderjagt for sure. I think Dwight Freeney should be a serious candidate. And I think the center Jeff Saturday is quietly, you know, had a really, really good season. But, you know, when you have the number 2 offense in football and you show up every week and you're winning your division, you got to throw a lineman in there. And Jeff Saturday has started every game for him, finishing the game out right now.
You mentioned Freeney. Amazingly, the Colts have not sent a defensive player to the Pro Bowl since 1987.
Yeah. Dwayne Bickett.
That's right.
Linebacker.
Well, the story today for the Colts, they've done it on both sides of the ball. 4 sacks, forced 2 turnovers. But offensively, Peyton Manning, 5 touchdown passes, 1 shy of his career high set earlier this season in New Orleans. Completed over 83% of his pass attempts today, 290 yards. Edgerrin James, a 43-yard run, his longest of the season, his 5th 100-yard game. And Marvin Harrison, 2 touchdown receptions. He went over the 100-yard mark as well. 117, his 6th 100-yard game of 2003. Penalty flag on the return by Allen Rawson. With 20 seconds remaining, tremendous job by our entire crew, as always. Our producer, Pete Macheska, director Michael Frank, associate director John Coleman, broadcast associate Zach Fields. The pregame show produced by Scott Ackerson, directed by Bob Levy. The vice president of production is Jack Simmons. The senior producer is Bill Brown. Executive producers Ed Gorin and David Hill. Eric Merlis and Ben Bowman crunching the numbers, along with Rick Camps and Robbie Inspakowski. 20 seconds remaining. 38-7 Colts. They will raise their record to 11-3. While the Falcons will drop to 3-11.
The Colts had their team Christmas party on Friday night. I don't think that they could have hoped for anything more than the performance they had here today on all areas of the football.
Heading to the playoffs for the 4th time in 5 years. As you mentioned earlier, Peyton Manning has never won a postseason game, 0-3.
You think that'll be talked a little bit?
Just a little bit.
People bring that up to him over the next couple of weeks.
Now the Colts will await the Titans-Bills result. Tennessee winning by 4 here in Indianapolis. The final score, the Colts 38 and the Falcons 7. For Brian Baldinger and our entire crew, this is Kenny Albert saying so long from the RCA Dome.